Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to create your own reality instantly and effortlessly. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful, where we continue broadcasting from the mountain town of Cuenca, Ecuador, here in the Andes, and we have another powerful video for you today. I want to talk about a comment that one of you posted on one of the recent videos, and there's a lot of truth to what you were talking about, but I want to point out a few things in this comment and really get to the idea that when Neville Goddard and others say that creation is finished, what does that really mean, right? And I'm going to start with this comment, and then we're going to unpack that, because it relates directly to how you create your own reality instantly and effortlessly, right? This is what this subscriber said. I just don't like the concept or mental construct that you are creating your own reality. This idea that we say you're creating or manifesting your own reality. We use those terms all the time, right? And it implies a fundamental misunderstanding of how reality works. So we're going to unpack this idea, because that's just a judgment. That's you coming from a limited perception that you don't like something. And so you want to exclude that idea from reality or from infinity. All possibilities exist, even the possibility that you're creating and manifesting your own reality. Do you see that? So it's not, the only fundamental misunderstanding is the one that you're creating. You create the fundamental misunderstanding of how reality works. You can't know how reality works for other individualized points of consciousness. They create their own reality. Creation is finished, yes, but you create, you manifest, you perceive your individualized experience of creation or reality. It all exists in potential, as awareness, as consciousness, as knowing, as that self-aware intelligence. That's all forms, but no form in particular. Do you see? All potentials exist. And only when you put your awareness on it do you create that experience and you create that changing form. Is that clear? Because this is just saying, oh yeah, you know, and I know you've read Neville Goddard, you know all the spiritual greats, and they all say that. So I know there's truth to that. I get what you're saying. But we're just kind of trying to stand up there and say this is not valid. That's not a valid view of reality. It absolutely is, because all things are possible. Right? Creation is all things, but no one thing in particular. That's why you have, yes, creation's finished, but you are the operant power. You create, manifest, and perceive your individualized experience of creation as creation itself. You are creation itself. You are existence itself. You are life itself. You're God itself. It's God experiencing itself as God through these infinite individualized points of consciousness. Creation is all things, but no one thing in particular. It's pure positive potential to be anything and all things. That each individualized center of that one divine mind creates and experiences reality. You invoke that power. Do you see it? It's beyond just realizing it. And you talked about realization and recognition. Yes, realize it and recognize it. But you're the operant power to create your experience. So you can realize it and recognize it all day long and continue to experience a reality that you view as unwanted. It's about you as the operant power. It's about you understanding that whatever you assume, whatever you imagine in terms of a visualization or imaginal scene, whatever you invoke, that's reality. And then stand in that end of that knowing. Allow the changing thoughts and feelings of doubt and worry and everything else to be there. Allow the changing forms to be changing forms. But stand in your knowing as the one and only source of your reality. So we're going to unpack this idea today and more. So creation, God, all that is, the great isness, the great I am, experience itself through those infinite individualized points of consciousness, of which you are one of those infinite points. As one experience, though, do you see the difference? God sees one experience. Creation, infinity has one experience of infinite individualized experiences of consciousness and awareness, but it sees it as one. All extremes meet, all paradoxes are solved, right? And all paradoxes and apparent contradictions are reconciled. There's no contrary conditions in that one awareness. It's all experiences, those infinite points of the divine mind, taken together as a whole. That's how God knows itself as God. That's why it doesn't see it as good or bad or right or wrong. Only you do within your experiences. But as those paradoxes and contradictions are reconciled in that unity of reality, extremes meet. And you only see that one experience. So you are only creating, hear this, and assuming that there's a fundamental misunderstanding of how reality works. That's your assumption. That's your reality. That's your misunderstanding. Do you see? You're trying to say there's some misunderstanding out there that this term implies. It doesn't imply anything other than what you give it as the implication. Do you see it? You decide that, right? It's your own misunderstanding and confusion. This is big, right? You're confused, not the others, not that term. That term's very clear, that creation's finished in potential, that all possibilities exist, all changing forms, all changing appearances, all changing circumstances, all identities, all images, all versions of you, all frames of reality exist. But what you experience, you create, you manifest, you perceive, you're aware of. In other words, who and what you're conscious of being creates your experience of reality. Do you see it? Every point of individualized consciousness creates their own assumptions and beliefs of how reality works for them. Do you see it? How can you know how reality works for others? There's only ultimate reality, that one awareness, that one God, that one consciousness. Every individualized point of consciousness, you, me, and others, have their own unique experience of how reality works. Whew. You see it now. Again, I just want to point you back to this because we get caught in that linear mind, that linear mindset of limiting ourselves, right? Just because you don't resonate with that idea doesn't mean or doesn't make it a fundamental misunderstanding. You make it a fundamental misunderstanding. There's no truth to that. All understandings are from source. That's what source is. It's understanding. It's knowing. It's self-aware intelligence that creates it all. That is source of everything. That's powerful. So let's continue with this message here. And you say, you continue with your comment, it's more of a realization or recognition than an act of creating. Yes, it's a realization and a recognition for sure, but it's not more than an act of creating. It is an act of creating. That's a creative act. To recognize, to be aware, to realize anything, to be conscious of anything is a creative act. That's all you do as a creator. Everything that you are aware of, who and what you're conscious of being, is an act of creation. It's an act of God, of all that is. You are consciousness and awareness eternally, conscious and aware of yourself as source, as the creator. And then you go on to say, and I agree with these points, but you're saying, yes, those are true, but this other idea is not true. It shouldn't exist. The idea that you're creating your own reality implies a fundamental misunderstanding, and that idea shouldn't exist. Everything has the right to exist because that's what existence is. All ideas. And you say no separations, no limitations. All already exist in potential. Yes, we say that on our more than 2,700 videos we've said that. But think about this. You say that, but you're creating separation and limitation by saying, hear this, the concept of creating your own reality is invalid. Somehow it's not correct. See, you're creating your own separation, your own limitation on reality. Creating, manifesting, perceiving, experiencing, all of them are true. That's why we use all those terms interchangeably. But really, what creates your reality is who and what you're conscious of being. And we use different verbs for that. But they're all truth. They're all part of creation. And so this, guys, give me a second here. This thing's flopping around. Here we are live. Guys, I do one and done. Okay, I don't edit these things. So you're getting an unedited Tom here and be something wonderful. But you are creating and separating and creating limitation by saying it is invalid and that it doesn't exist. That's what you're implying, right? With that statement, if we're going to talk about implications, that's what you're, by that statement that I don't like it because it's not true. It absolutely is truth. It's all truth. It depends. You get to determine. That's truth for you. But that doesn't mean there's some fundamental understanding out there. You're creating that separation. Do you see it? You're creating that idea that separation is out, that limitation or that thought's out there. And there's others believing that. Not true. That's all you. Right? All of them result from who and what you're conscious of being, your identity or your self-concept. That's clear. We've talked about these ideas. So let's move on here. So it's not a creation. Oh yeah, so you go on in your comment. And again, I wanted to unpack it a little bit. It's not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm not going there. That's where you went. I'm not saying what I like or don't like or what's right or wrong. I'm saying there's a greater realization that everything exists, all possibilities, all ideas, right? So it's not a creation, rather a revelation of who you really are. Yes, I agree with that, but I don't agree that it's not a creation. I agree that, yes, it's a revelation of who you really are. It's a realization, but everything's creation. How can you say it's not a creation? Creation's creation. You're stating it like there's all these fixed realities out there that exist. They only exist in potential. They only exist when you're aware and conscious of it. You can't know. Creation is all that is. It's infinity. It's always expanding. And it's always finished at the same time. That's the paradox. And it's always experiencing itself from a different perspective, from a different viewpoint, from a different vantage point. But it's all paradoxes are reconciled. All of it is a oneness. So yes, it's a revelation experienced by you. Hear this. Creating, manifesting, and perceiving your individualized experience of yourself is all it is. That's what that means. It's a revelation experienced by you. Creating, manifesting, perceiving, whatever verb you want to use, individualized experience of yourself as all it is. Now, that's creation. Boom. Creation is finished, but it's always expanding at the same time through your endless, hear this, individualized experiences of itself, of yourself as all that is. It's continually expanding. That's the paradox. Infinity couldn't be infinity unless it was finished and expanding at the same time. There are no borders to infinity. So it must be expanding and it must be finished at the same time. Infinity is finished and expanded at the same time. That's the divine paradox of you as source and creation itself. That's the paradox. Because we get that other question a lot. That if creation's finished, then what do we do? What are we doing? How does it expand? How do we create? You're just it's source, knowing itself from infinite, inexhaustible perspectives and viewpoints, because every experience creates another infinite possibility of other experiences, other viewpoints. Every time you view reality a certain way, you invoke infinite other ways from that new vantage point to experience yourself. That's powerful. So let's really get this idea. And that's why Neville got it. That's what Neville got it meant by creation is finished. And at the same time, you're the operant power. You invoke that power, right? That power is what you invoke. Well, wait a minute, guys. All right, I'll try to hold this down. Real time here with Tom. So you're the operant power. Remember, the reason I continually present this, not only for you, but for new viewers as well, especially new viewers, is because this is what we're talking about. This is the vertical, the now moment of reality. You as the operant power, you as that I am awareness, the Son of God, all that is, all potential, all power, all knowing, one with the great I am, one with existence itself, the great source. The first manifestation of creation or God or source of that awareness is the I am awareness, the Son of God. That possibility of awareness being aware of itself as God. God knowing itself. One with it, but also knowing itself from individualized vantage points or viewpoints. It's all potential, right? And then there's the Son of Man, your I am identity, your self-concept as the Son of God. Who are you? That's why Jesus asked, who do you say I am? That's your I am awareness asking you, who do you say? What are you aware of? Who and what are you conscious of being? And then you create your own, you create that experience of reality. This should be a solid orange. That these solid experiences are not solid at all. You're creating your past, present, and future in this eternal now moment. Your experience of reality from that. So that's what we mean. Yes, creation's finished. It's all potential. But you create, you manifest, you perceive your individualized experience of reality. That's the difference. And how do you do that? By you create a 1 to 2 second imaginal frame, something that implies that your desired end is done. See yourself being congratulated by your friends. See yourself being hugged by that specific person that you want to be in your life. Or if you want to be married, see, as Neville Goddard says, see that wedding ring or see the reception. It's just a short scene, and if you can't see it and visualize it, assume it. The image is already there. Remember, every assumption carries an image, whether you can visualize it or not. Just say the word, affirm it, assume it, and then stand in that end no matter what. See all conditions unfolding to that desired end. See all the changing thoughts and feelings as just that, changing thoughts and feelings. They don't create anything unless you assume they do. Everything's creative, but it doesn't create without the Creator saying so. That's what Jesus meant when the healing of the centurion's servant, when the centurion said to Jesus, just say the word and I know my servant will be healed. Something like, my servant will be healed. In this moment, right? In this now moment, instantly, reality is unfolding from within you. So assume it, script it, whatever process. Remember, the processes are not to create anything. Yes, creation's finished in potential, but they're to form that potential in your desired intention. Do you see it? That's what processes are, and we're doing that naturally by who and what we're conscious of being in every moment. We're shifting realities. We're shifting identities. We're shifting frames, right? Frames of reality in every moment, creating our entire life experience. And you can do that consciously, intentionally, and deliberately as you decide what you want to call forth. And then just stand in that. Right? Don't look out there for the answers. Out there will be, the out there is in there. And there's no in there or out there. It's just you as reality. There's nothing out there. There's not really anything in there. There's no inside or outside. It's just you as reality. That's how to create your own reality instantly and effortlessly. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. For joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, our TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, and for being part of our membership channel. One of you asked, well, what are the benefits of the membership channel? Well, we intend to do a live stream every month, once a month, and then we, from now and then, every now and then, we also have another video, something unique for it's the same message, but something prepared just for the members. Those are the benefits. So, and they're great, right? That live stream alone, right? So if you want to join, great, check it out. And those benefits are also listed on the channel. We're going to have our next live stream announced for the end of July, the end of this month. Stay tuned. And again, send your questions and comments to info@besomethingwonderful.com. And then join us. That live streams exclusively on the membership channel. It will be our 7th live stream this year of 2024. We've had one every month. And it will be our 16th live stream from the membership channel. Creators with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude, right here from the Andes, in the mountain town of Cuenca, Ecuador, at the Gaia Retreat Center. Until next time, we'll see you soon.